Dear learners, welcome to the MOOC course in physiology. Today I am going to discuss about the role of antidiuretic hormone in controlling water reabsorption at the kidney tubules. Antidiuretic hormone is the tonicity regulator. This is a primary hormone responsible for regulating the tonicity of blood in our body. This tonicity regulation is done through the reabsorption of water, by controlling the reabsorption of water at the kidney tubules. So, antidiuretic hormone is released in response to hypertonicity as well as hypovolemia, when the blood tonicity is increased or blood volume is decreased. When the blood volume is decreased, the blood pressure decreases. These two conditions cause the release of antidiuretic hormone. So, how is this release controlled? Antidiuretic hormone is stored in the neurons in the hypothalamus. These neurons also act as osmoreceptors. When the tonicity of the blood increases, these osmoreceptors are stimulated. The stimulation of these osmoreceptors causes the release of antidiuretic hormone. So, the next factor controlling the release of antidiuretic hormone is hypovolemia. When the blood volume decreases, the blood pressure decreases. So, this decrease in blood pressure is sensed by baroreceptors, which are mechanoreceptors present in the left atrium, carotid arch and the carotid artery. These baroreceptors are stimulated. Their stimulation is passed through the vagus nerve and causes the release of antidiuretic hormone from the hypothalamus. Then, how is this antidiuretic hormone controls the water reabsorption? This antidiuretic hormone or ADH exerts its effect on the distal convoluted tubule as well as on the collecting duct. In the distal convoluted tubule, the late part of the distal convoluted tubule is responsible for water reabsorption. These two parts, the late distal convoluted tubule as well as the collecting duct, has got two types of cells. All other parts of the kidney nephrons have only single type of cell. But here, there are two types of cells, principal cell as well as intercalated cells. The principal cell is responsible for water reabsorption under the influence of antidiuretic hormone. How is this happening? These principal cells contain water responsive channels called aquaporins. These aquaporins are normally present in vesicles in an inactive form. So they are inactive. They will not be taking part in water reabsorption in normal conditions of blood volume and tonicity. When the tonicity increases and antidiuretic hormone is released into the blood, this antidiuretic hormone come and bind with the V receptors on the principal cell. When this binding happens, the antidiuretic ADH binds with the V receptors, adenylate cyclase enzyme will be activated through a G protein coupled process. So, this process needs the binding of ADH to the V receptor, that is a primary messenger, causes this activation of adenylate cyclase through G protein coupled process. This enzyme, the activation of this enzyme causes the increase in cyclic AMP. This is the second messenger. First messenger was ADH, second is the cyclic AMP in this case. This second messenger, cyclic AMP, activate the enzyme protein kinase A. Protein kinase A is a phosphorylating enzyme. This induces a cascade of many phosphorylating reactions within the cell. One of the phosphorylating reaction will be phosphorylating the vesicles where these aquaporins are stored or sequestered. As a result, these aquaporin channels move to the apical membrane of the principal cell. So, the apical side is the side facing the cavity of the kidney tubule where the tubular filtrate is there. So, the channels reach on the apical membrane and the water from the tubular filtrate move into the cell through a passive process. because there are sodium and chloride ions in large quantity within the principal cell. So this increased concentration here causes the movement of water from the tubular filtrate through a passive process, and the water moves through the cell, transcellular process, and reaches the interstitial space. From the interstitial space, it goes to the peritubular capillaries, and the blood volume is increased or the tonicity is decreased. So this is how ADH controlled water reabsorption at the kidney tubule. Conversely, when the tonicity is low or blood volume is high, ADH release will be stopped. As a result, this process will not happen. When ADH is there, more water is reabsorbed. This causes the excretion of a highly concentrated urine, and blood volume is increased. This is how the ADH controls. And this happens when there is a high loss of blood during a very high or heavy hemorrhage, or if there is an edema in your body, the blood volume will be decreased, and that induces the release of ADH and water reabsorption of the kidney tubules. Thank you.